You feel like a fraud. You feel like one day everyone's going to find out you're not as good as they think you are. You want to get rid of that feeling, right? Don't. That feeling has a name: Imposter Syndrome. It's when you genuinely believe you're not as capable as people think you are, even when the evidence says otherwise. And the worst part? It tends to hit the hardest precisely when you've actually earned your place. Every article, every video, every well-meaning friend, they all tell you the same thing. Get rid of it, fix it, cure it. But what if that's exactly the wrong move? See, almost everything out there treats this feeling like it's a bug, something broken in your head that needs a patch. But what if it's not a bug at all? What if that little voice, the one whispering, "You're gonna get caught," is actually one of the most useful things your brain does for you? I know, sounds backwards. Stick with me, because once you see why, you're never gonna look at that feeling the same way again. Let me show you. Okay, first thing, think about a swimming pool for a second. When you're in the shallow end, feet touching the bottom, totally safe, you never think about drowning. Why would you? You're not even really swimming, you're just standing in water. But the moment you push off into the deep end, where your feet can't reach anymore, that's when your body goes on alert. That's when you actually start paying attention. Imposter syndrome works the exact same way. If you're feeling it, that's not proof you don't belong. That's proof you left the shallow end. You moved into water that's actually deep enough to teach you something. And here's the flip side. The people who never feel like a fraud at anything, a lot of the time, they're just still standing in the shallow end, never pushed off, never grew. But that's only the first thing imposter syndrome does. Second thing, and this one's my favorite. Picture a kid who just learned how the horse and the little castle pieces move in chess, like 2 days ago. That kid will absolutely tell you they're a chess genius. Total confidence, zero doubt. Why? Because they don't know what they don't know yet. They can't see the thousands of ways a real opponent could crush them, so there's nothing to be nervous about. Now picture someone who's played chess for 20 years. Ask them if they're going to win their next match, and they'll probably hesitate. I mean, maybe, depends who I'm up against. That hesitation isn't weakness, it's the opposite. It means they've actually seen how deep the game goes. They know enough to know how much they still don't control. So here's the twist. The most confident people in the room are sometimes confident for the worst possible reason. They just haven't seen enough yet to doubt themselves. Your doubt? It's not a sign you're behind. It's a sign you've actually looked closely enough to see the whole board. But knowing that still doesn't explain why imposter syndrome can actually make you perform better. That's where it gets interesting. And that's where most people stop. They think imposter syndrome is just about awareness. It isn't. Because awareness changes behavior. Third one, think back to school for a second. You know that one kid who was terrified of failing the test, so they stayed up half the night going over their notes again and again? And then there's the kid who barely opened the book because, hey, they're smart, they'll figure it out. Who do you think usually walked out with the better grade? That fear of being caught unprepared, it doesn't just sit there and make you anxious. It actually pushes you to work. You double check things. You prepare more than you probably need to. You take the extra hour nobody asked you to take. And more often than not, that extra hour is exactly what separates good from actually great. Imposter syndrome doesn't just change how you feel, it changes what you do. So let's put all three together for a second. The deep end, the chessboard, the all-nighter. Three completely different situations, but underneath, they're all pointing at the exact same thing. That uncomfortable feeling isn't your brain malfunctioning. It's more like the warning light on your car's dashboard. You don't rip that light out just because it turned on. It's not broken. It's doing its job. It's telling you, hey, pay attention right now. Imposter syndrome is your brain's dashboard light for growth. It only turns on when you're somewhere that actually matters. Think about every example we just talked about. The swimmer, the chess player, the student, they all experience the same thing. Not certainty, doubt. But that doubt made each of them pay closer attention, learn faster, prepare harder. That's why imposter syndrome isn't the opposite of growth. It's often the evidence that growth is already happening. So next time that feeling shows up, don't ask, how do I make this disappear? Ask something much more useful. What is this feeling trying to teach me? Because maybe the voice you've been trying to silence has been pointing in the right direction all along.